let's make sourdough bread together, the lazy way. So the way that I do it uses a kitchen scale, which is my favorite kitchen tool ever. But you could technically do this without a scale. It's just, in my opinion, easier with. So I've got my jar with my starter from the fridge. Now I have it written down somewhere how much my jar weighs, which is 435 grams. So that works out to being about 180 grams of starter in there. I'm going to feed it a 1:1:1 ratio. Flour, starter, water. First the water. It does not really matter what temperature water you use. It might be faster if you use warmer water, but I'm going to be gone all day, so it's not a big problem. About 180 grams of flour, about 180 grams of water. All right, the starter is all fed and mixed together. So I'm going to use just a Crayola washable marker to mark about where it's at. So that's where it's at right now. We're going to wait till it's doubled in size to use it to bake, which is about filling up the container. So now I'm going to put the lid on and just barely screw it on. All right, the starter has not quite doubled, but that's good enough for me. So now let's make the dough. Adding starter to a bowl, flinging it onto my shoe, apparently. Literally got some on my shoe. We are not worrying about being perfectly precise with our measurements because this is sourdough and it's chill and we're lazy. We're gonna mix the starter and the water together a bit, but it's all gonna get mixed in anyway, so it doesn't need to be fully mixed. I used cold water. Sometimes I use slightly warm water, but it doesn't really matter. Just don't use hot water. All right, we've got a bunch of flour in. Now we're gonna add the salt. All right, that is all the ingredients we're working with. So now we're gonna mix this with the spoon until it gets too hard to mix with a spoon, and then we'll switch to by hand. This dough is not gonna look like a typical bread dough after kneading, but I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. The end goal is a shaggy looking dough that